It is just a huge honor for me today to be podcast interviewing Kyle Timmons.
Thank you, Howard. My pleasure to be here.
Oh, he's with, it's an honor. Kyle W. Timmons is an entrepreneur, businessman, and the franchisee of 3 Office Evolution franchises in the East Valley area of Phoenix, Arizona, and is an active member of the Chandler, Arizona, and Ahwatukee Chambers of Commerce. That's who referred me to you.
Yep.
As a previous client of Office Evolution, Mr. Timmons was the owner and president of his own highly successful dispute resolution firm, mostly Mediation,
yeah.
Inc., specializing in complex financial disputes. For over 20 years, Mr. Timmons was a leader and mentor in the Colorado mediation community while conducting mediations and facilitations in the area of business and contract disputes, divorce, child custody and child support, family, Title VII, the Americans with Disabilities Act, the ADEA, employment, workplace relationship issues, victim offender, and community disputes. And then you decided to start buying Office Evolution's franchise.
I did.
Was it because you were up in Colorado? What did you say? 29 years.
29 years in Colorado. Yes.
So was that? I have a lawyer friend who, after he was a lawyer and practicing, family disputes, divorce, child custody, it was so damn stressful, he went back and became a programmer.
Yes.
And so was those, what percent of those mediations were highly emotionally charged?
Toward the end of my career as a mediator, almost all of them. Almost all of the mediations I did were high conflict cases. So people had restraining orders against each other. They had all sorts of different things. Couldn't be in the same room together. So probably 90% or so of my cases at the end were high conflict cases that ultimately led me to choose another career. I have a great deal of empathy for your friend.
When most people think about murder, you think that's like some guy breaks in your house and murders you or something like that. But aren't you mostly murdered by lovers? Isn't it usually?
I think there's some stats like that.
Can you Google that? What percent of people murdered are murdered by their lover? I mean, it's
family members anyway, right?
Yeah. Because I've practiced dentistry out here for 30 years.
Yeah.
And I only know of 2 murders in Ahwatukee in the 30 years I was here, and both of them were domestic disputes. I think one time mom shot pa, and the other time pa shot mom, but I think those are the only 2 that I ever heard about.
I unfortunately had some clients that ultimately got themselves in trouble for, actually, none of my clients ever committed murder, but I had peers of mine who had mediated cases where somebody took upon themselves to murder the other party. That's a way to solve that dispute.
So I'm so glad you came on the show, because there's a lot of people watching you right now in Ahwatukee who have been sitting in a cubicle for 10, 20, 30 years.
Yep.
And they always want to make the transition of going from working in a cubicle to owning my own business. But my gosh, if you go to franchise.com or you go to Inc. 500, a list of top franchises, there's so many to pick from. How talk about your journey? I mean, I doubt you walked out of 29 years of mediation and just looked at one franchise and bought it. So
that's generally true. I was actually a customer of Office Evolution at the time, and I had used those services and from both Office Evolution and other providers for many years as a place to house my business and to do my mediations. And so at the last part of my career, I was with Office Evolution as a client, as a customer. So when I got to the point where I decided I was not going to be a mediator anymore, and I needed to find some other
and where were you in mediation where you said I'm not doing anymore? Was it just the stress?
It was really mediation and that field is sort of things kind of pile up over time. So I had mediated for 20 years, and over time it was just the stress, and it got to be more and more stressful, less fun. I've enjoyed helping people. That's part of what got me into mediation. That's part of what got me into Office Evolution as well. But it was less, I felt less like I was helping people, and that it was just a culmination of issues over time that I'm not having fun anymore. I'm not enjoying this. I need to find something else to do. So
they say if you love what you do, you never work another day in your life.
Right, right. And I really enjoyed being a mediator.
Yeah.
I mean, I still do. When I think about that, I'm glad that I did that for so long. But it was time for me to do something different. So I started thinking about, well, what else do I need to do? What else can I do? And I've always been sort of involved in business. I had my own mediation business. I was in the insurance industry before that. And so we started looking at businesses and franchises. So looked at a variety of franchises. Office Evolution is one of the top franchises in the country. They've gotten several different awards for being up and coming and new franchises from Entrepreneur Magazine, from Fortune 500 Magazine, things like that that will give them some credence in the industry. But I really liked the company itself. Mark Hemmeter, who is the CEO, when I had an office there, every once in a while he would stop by my office, just knock on the door if my door was open, say, "Hey."
Now this is the CEO this is the founder and CEO of Office Evolution.
Exactly.
In Boulder, Colorado.
Right.
Now what's his name?
Mark Hemmeter.
Mark Hemmeter.
Hemmeter. And he would just stop and say, "Hey, how's it going? How do you like it here? Is there anything we need to change? Do you have everything you need?" Just checking in, see how your business is going. And I really liked that. He had this hands-on touch. And then I had heard that they were starting to do franchises. So among other, when I was looking at different franchises, opportunities or things that we might consider doing, I thought, let's check out Office Evolution. Because I liked their culture, I liked the way they did things, I liked the way they treated me as a customer. And I thought maybe that's something I want to be involved with. So did a bunch of investigation, started talking with them, and decided that, yeah, that's something we wanted to do. And ultimately decided that maybe Phoenix, Arizona, which is one of their target markets, should be where we moved to do this. So we moved here to do this.
Well, after 30 years in Denver, the snow and the sleet, you're ready to become a desert rat?
I guess, although the sad story is that we brought our snow shovels with us. I don't know why. We still have them, though.
So how old of a franchise is Office Evolution, and how many states are they in?
I think they're in 25 states now.
Wow.
We are the 42nd franchise to open.
Here in Ahwatukee?
This one in Ahwatukee is the 42nd one to open.
Number 42, and they're in how many states?
There are 25 states.
So half of America, 25 out of 50?
Yeah. They're expecting another 20 or so to open yet this year. Another location to cross
Now, is
the
it
country.
publicly traded, or is there
It's
private?
not. It's privately held.
It's privately held?
Yeah.
Just Mark?
There's a number of investors.
Number of investors?
Yeah.
And what is the concept?
The concept is, Mark was actually a customer of those types of services as well at a certain point, and he thought to himself, there has to be a better way to do this. Something that really values the customers and he created a business that's founded really on 5 core values. And so he carries those core values into Office Evolution. The 5 values are Ohana, which is Mark's from Hawaii.
Spell that, Ohana.
Ohana. So Mark is from Hawaii, and
Is that him?
That is not him.
Oh, okay, that's not. I'm on your website.
That's just a
Okay, Ohana is what means?
family. It's an extended family sort of concept, a Hawaiian word.
And by the way, on the family, Ryan just texted me that 49% of murders are from spouses. Family violence accounts for 11% of all reported and unreported violence. Of these, roughly 3.5 million violent crimes committed against family members. 49% were crimes against spouses, 11% were sons or daughters victimized by a parent, and 41% of crimes against other family members.
Wow.
So yeah, family is a very dangerous thing, but that's one of your core values. Ohana, family.
We're doing the other 51%, okay?
You're not doing the murderous half?
No, we're not going to concentrate on that area.
Okay.
It's really it's sort of we're all in it together concept. What can Office Evolution do for their clients, for their members, and what can their members do for Office Evolution? So how can we help each other to be successful? People come, people go, but we're still always there to help in whatever it is to do that they need to do and to build their business. So part of Office Evolution's drive is to help other small businesses be successful. Toward that end, they also make sure that we're authentic. We mean what we say. When we say we're going to do something, we do it. We want to create a win-win situation, something that benefits both our member as well as Office Evolution. We want everything to be simple. We have a one-page contract that people sign. We have some other business rules like don't bring in nuclear waste, but it's a one-page contract that people sign with us. And we want to make sure that people like where they're at. We want people to be happy where they're at and want to stay and be successful. We hope that they outgrow us and move on to bigger and better things.
Outgrow the office space that they're renting from you.
Sure.
So that's what you do. You build your own office space, or do you go find office space and sublet it?
Both. This particular space here in Ahwatukee was a vacant suite in the building at 4435 East Chandler.
Okay,
4435 East
4435 East Chandler.
Right.
So give them a visual where that is. If you were driving down Chandler out of the foothills, and you're driving down Chandler.
Yep. It's on the right side, the south side of the road.
South side.
A block past the library.
Oh, okay.
It's the Bell Mortgage Building.
The Bell Mortgage Building.
That Bell's in there. The Ahwatukee Chamber of Commerce is also currently in that building as well. First American Title.
Right.
And so we're on the right side of the road, right on the corner there. And we're on the second floor.
So you guys found a big vacancy in there.
Found half the building on the second floor, and it was white walled, empty, and so we came in and we designed that space. We put up walls and brought in furniture and made it look cool and inviting.
Are all the office spaces the same?
No,
the same size?
There's a variety of sizes. Some of them are on the interior, some of them are on the exterior.
Exterior meaning a window view?
Has some windows. The design of that building, there's a lot of jigs and jags and jogs, and so we have a lot of windows. And so we try to bring as much of that exterior light, the window light, into the interior of the building. So every office has a side light window that lets light into the interior.
And what's the sweet spot size? Is it like the size of this studio right here?
It's a little bit smaller than this, usually
it's
around
smaller.
100 to 120 square feet. But it really varies a lot. We have our largest office is 144 square feet. Our smallest is about 80 square feet.
So 80 to 144.
Those are the size offices.
Those size up, but the sweet spot is about 120.
100 to 120.
And what else is 120 square feet? So someone listening to you, is that like?
What is 10?
I mean, is
10
that
by, 10 by 12?
Is that a parking stall?
That's about a parking stall.
Yeah. So
Different sizes. It could
right.
be, it could be square. It could be rectangular. Some of our offices.
So these are people that want to find a room with or without a window, because they need to publicly meet, or they don't want to work at home, or they don't want to work at a home office, or
all of the above. It could be that they need to meet clients. So we might have an accountant that needs to meet their clients there during tax season. It might be an accountant that just doesn't want to work at the kitchen table or at Starbucks and needs a place to get away from the doorbell and the refrigerator and the toddler and all those kinds of things, so they have a quiet place to work. It could be someone who wants to establish their business, so they need a business address. So we'll do everything from hosting your business. You can have just a business mailing address there so that you have a place to register your business, receive your mail and packages if you'd like, to a dedicated space and everything in between. We'll answer your phones for you. We have a co-working area.
Really? You'll answer the phone? So you have a receptionist?
We have a receptionist. The calls are routed through our offices in Colorado, but there's a whole bunch of people that sit there and answer the phones for people.
So you have one centralized call center at headquarters?
At headquarters.
Okay.
Yep. And
so do you have any employees in these facilities?
I have one employee here in Ahwatukee, Rebecca Alden. She sits there and she manages the site. She greets guests as they come in. If there's any problem, she handles it, makes sure that people have what they need.
And that site's been there 2 years?
2 weeks.
2 weeks?
2 weeks. We opened 2 weeks ago.
But you've had the franchise 2 years.
I've had the franchise 2 years. We spent the last 2 years looking for sites and trying to find things that would work, and then the last 6 months or so developing this site.
So now you're you're open.
We're open.
Well, I hope you get one client. If you're looking
you.
at that space, how would they contact you?
You can always reach out to us on the internet at www.officeevolution.com/Phoenix, or you can call us at 480-436-8144.
So either go to officeevolution.com.
Yes, and then /Phoenix.
Okay, just Phoenix.
Right. You can email us at phoenix.az.
Phoenix.az
at officeevolution.com.
at officeevolution.com.
Right. And all of those will get you to Rebecca, and she will get back in contact with you. Or you can just drop by and visit us during regular business hours.
And what would be the so? Do you timeshare or what? Say I wanted the sweet spot, the 120 square foot,
Yep.
which we decided is about a parking stall,
Yeah, maybe a little bit bigger, but about that size, yes.
and you put a desk in there.
Every office comes with a desk and a return and a filing cabinet.
A desk and a return.
Mm-hmm.
What's a return?
It's like a side table,
Okay.
and a filing cabinet, a desk chair, and a guest chair.
Yeah.
So those come with it. You can bring
Now,
in
are
your
there
own
pictures
furniture.
of these on your site? Or
I think there are a few. We're
Or
just
what-
getting them loaded up now.
Oh,
The
just getting
furniture
them.
just got in.
oh, nice, man.
I know.
Have you found your first customer?
Oh, yes. Yeah, we have several customers already.
Nice.
Yep. Our first office holder moved in today.
So
That's perfect timing.
So now, if I rented that space, would I rent it just mine for the month,
You
or
can
could I
rent-
timeshare it and do it just on Mondays, or how does that work?
Well, we have a number of choices. In fact, I'll give you this. It's a waterfall of all of our different services.
waterfall?
A waterfall.
I love that.
That's a technical term there for you. We people can have dedicated space, and we have desks that they can just have. It could just be their desk. They can put the picture of their kids on it or their dog. We have micro offices that are small, very small offices that are really 36 square feet. The walls don't go all the way to the ceiling. That's the only difference. They're 8 feet high walls.
So it's a cubicles
It's like a cubicle.
that are 8 feet tall.
With the locking door. And so it's their office. And then we have dedicated offices that are ranged from 80 square feet to 144 square feet. And it's their office. You can rent that by the month, 6 months, a year. We'll go longer if you like, but those are the most common. If people want to use it for less than a month, if they want to just use it for a day, we have a day office that people can use. They can rent it by the hour. And so they can come in and use it by the hour. We have a walk-in space where people could just drop in an open area and sit down at a desk or at a bar, pull up a chair, plug in, and get to work on whatever it is they're working on in our co-working area.
And so was the decision to not to have an 8 foot talls because you wanted to be mobile and you could whereas if you come in and put in 2x4s and sheetrock and all that, it just
To a certain extent, that's true.
more
It's really-
flexibility. I was looking at.
It's some flexibility for us, but it's really an entry point office for people who don't need a lot of space, but they need a quiet space to work. Somebody that's not going to have a lot of guests, but need a private place of their own to get some work done, and to have their business be hosted, because they could register their business at that place and have their business mail received there.
So how are people finding you? What's your marketing for that?
We've done a lot of networking. We're meeting people all the time. We do a lot of digital networking, a lot of digital advertising rather as well.
And what does that mean? I mean, how are you doing that?
We have a lot. We do a lot of posts on Facebook and on digital media, LinkedIn and Instagram. All the things that I'm not good at.
Yeah.
That's why we have Rebecca. We do a lot of SEO type things. The corporate does a fair amount of advertising as well to
Yeah.
help us out. And then we're going to be doing some things here locally to make sure that people know who we are. We're going to have a grand opening coming up in May, on May 10th, in the evening from 4 to 6 or 7. We're doing the planning for that right now. But just participate in the chambers and try to get the word out as much as we can. People may have seen the signs. We had coming soon signs that was on Chandler Boulevard for a while. Those are down now because we're not coming soon. We're there, and we have a sign on the monument there at the building.
And what do you think's worked the best of all those marketing things you've done?
Talking to people.
Yeah, get
Things
out.
like talking to you.
Press the flush, running from there.
Yeah, dude, just meeting people and letting them know what it is. It's a hard concept for people to get. I think people understand what executive suites are, but they don't understand how we have a lot of flexibility that's scalable, depending on the size of their business and what they need. Because we really want to offer whatever it is that people need. So we almost have a cafeteria plan of what people
You do. So you have
get.
discounts on room rentals. You got a lot of technical stuff. Okay, so you have a professional address with suite number, a secure mailbox, mail forwarding, live personalized phone answering, 60 minutes per month included in the price. You can have a phone number, voicemail, and fax to email, call transferring to multiple lines, call screening and announcing, calendar appointment management. That's all done at your headquarters.
Right.
Yeah.
The telephone answering part of
Yeah.
this. Yep.
Co-working, 24/7 access to shared workspaces, staffed reception, community kitchen and beverage bar. I assume those are all alcoholic beverages.
Those are non-alcoholic beverages. Sorry.
Oh my gosh.
We can talk later.
Okay. You can sneak it in though, right? In a flask.
I won't frisk you to make sure, see what you're carrying.
Business class Wi-Fi and community printer, copier, scanner. I didn't even know there was a business class Wi-Fi.
Oh yeah, it's faster.
Now, is that something that Cox presents, or is it another person?
We have it through Cox.
You have it through Cox?
Yeah, but there is a difference between residential and business class Wi-Fi's.
Yeah, I tried to get higher internet speed, and because my dental office is by Safeway,
Yeah.
and they have these business services there.
Yeah.
But we're in my home right now, and it's not on my street. But
Right.
that is.
Yeah.
But they say it's coming soon. Multiple employee access, then permanent space, your personal workspace with professional furniture, secure internet, Wi-Fi, and Ethernet. That is a myriad.
So if someone guesses, like I said, we have kind of this, the entry point for a lot of people is a business address. So you establish your company, but you need to register it with the state of Arizona. You need a place to host that. And for people that, when they try to register their business and put it at their home address, there's a lot of reasons you may not want to do that. First of all, you may not want your customers coming to your home. You will not get the same visibility on the internet if it's your home address as if it's a business address. So everything from a business address to a dedicated space. And that dedicated space includes a lot of things. It includes the internet, it includes answering your phone, it includes the coffee, it includes a mailbox, it includes mail forwarding if you need it. So it includes all those different things that you would otherwise have to pay extra for if you were somewhere else. It includes your utilities, and it includes the janitor and all those different things that you'd have to otherwise pay for that you have to pay for at your dental office. So,
Yeah. The website, he forgot a hyphen. It's www.officeevolution.com/locations/Phoenix. And that is a beautiful, what is the name of that building you said that was?
it's the same building that Bell Mortgage is in. I call it.
But is
Bell
that the
Mortgage.
building?
Yeah, that's it.
What do you call it?
What do I?
What's the name of that building you said?
I don't know what the name of it is. It's,
Okay, but it was-
I call it the Bell Mortgage building because it's
Bell Mortgage.
Bell Mortgage is in that building.
Oh, okay, the
They
Bell
have
Mortgage.
a big sign out front.
It is a gorgeous building.
They did some extra artwork there, I think.
Photoshopping.
Yeah.
What is
It's a very nice building.
and what about parking?
We have surface parking. We have covered parking available for an extra charge.
Yeah. But I mean, but if customers are coming to meet you there, is parking?
Parking's available. They have
I
a
mean,
large lot.
it's not really been an issue.
No, not at all.
Yeah, because that has been an issue in some of the Ahwatukee buildings here.
Oh, has it?
Yeah, there's no names mentioned, but I think of Ahwatukee as old Ahwatukee. And I got here 30 years ago. 48th and Elliott was Ahwatukee. And if you drove down 48th, it stopped at Ray Road and turned into cotton fields. and you couldn't have got back to the foothills unless you had a 4-wheel drive, and you'd have been illegally 4-wheel driving, and could have been arrested for hitting a saguaro. But yeah, some of the buildings in older Ahwatukee, parking really has been an issue.
There's a fairly decent sized lot there. I've never had trouble finding parking.
Yeah. You were going through your 5 core values. You started with Ohana,
Right.
which was a Hawaiian word used to describe a group of people fighting for the same purpose. We're all in this together. Office evolution is an Ohana of entrepreneurs bound together. So the second core value was win-win.
Right.
Talk about that.
Really, it is. The idea is that Office Evolution, my franchise, but Office Evolution in general, wants to help business owners with their business. They want to set up a situation where they can take advantage of the opportunities we give them and the services we give them to further their business to be more successful. We want to do that in a way that makes them successful. So that's the win on their side. The win on our side is we get to have them as customers. But we want to do that at a reasonable rate with services that they need to further their business as much as possible. If there's something that we don't have that they need, we're going to try to figure out a way to make that happen, or to get them something that will help them with whatever it is that they need for their business. So win-win's the second core value.
And then the third one was authenticity.
Right.
And
so we want to be open and honest with people. That's what we mean by authenticity. We want people to be very upfront with what we have, what we're providing, what they should expect, what our members should expect from us, and what we can expect from them. And so we just put it all out there. You have, here it is. This is what we have. We'd like for you to be a member and come in and see us, and enjoy officing here.
And you know what? In my 55 years on Earth, one of the things that's I've seen, there's been so many good things that have happened. It seems like, there hasn't been a world war since 1945, and there's been regional conflicts, but so many things are getting so much better. But it seems like one of the things I've seen going the wrong way is trust. In institutions. I remember, when I was in college, if you said, well, this is what the Centers for Disease Control said, you'd like, wow, you'd write it down and memorize it.
Right.
Now it's like, well,
they have authority.
Yeah, well, they're just a bunch of hacks that work for the pharmaceutical research company. Look at climate change.
Yeah.
When the head guy of NASA says something and half of America says he's lying.
Yeah.
It's like, you don't believe the head guy of NASA. And I'm not saying he's right or wrong or a liar or not liar, because that's not my forte, but loss of trust is a huge issue. And well, let me quiz you this. If your air conditioner went out and you called an air conditioner repairman, and some guy came to your door, and he's got on the uniform name tag, goes, looks at your air conditioner, he says, yeah, buddy, we can't fix it. You need a brand new air conditioner for $5,000. Mm-hmm. What percent of Americans would think, I wonder if that's even true?
I don't know what the percentage is.
Would you say high, low, medium?
I would say it should be high.
Yeah. And you take your car and it says right there, oil change, $20. So you take it in, I want a $20 oil change. He comes down and says, well, I really need to flush the transmission fluid line, air filters. What percent of Americans saying, are you just trying to get more money, or is that so when you're talking about authenticity, being honest, truthful, and putting yourself out there, I always felt dentistry was just like the engine light, because as a man who grew up with 5 sisters and played Barbie dolls till I was 12, when I go into the mechanic, I go into my buddy Grulick across the street from my dental office 20 years, because I know him and I trust him.
Yep.
But the engine, when the engine light comes on, it's the idiot light if you don't know anything about cars. And if you came to me and I said you have 3 cavities, how do you know?
Well, we don't know.
You don't know.
But part of what's been interesting for me is, since I lived in Colorado for 29 years, I hadn't had to do this recently. When I moved here less than 2 years ago, I had to reestablish all those contacts. again. I had to find new people. So I had to ask you, who's a good person to go to when my check engine light comes on? Who's a good person if my tooth's hurting? Who's a good person to go to, you know? And so I've had to rely on other people to make those recommendations for me, because you don't want to go to somebody who says, my tooth's hurting, who should I go to? And instead of saying you, they say, go to the mechanic across the street. I heard he pulled some teeth once. You know?
That's why I'm always shocked at. I wonder how long digital advertising is going to go, because I think, well, you have Google reviews,
Right.
and they say you have Yelp reviews, but that's a muddied watered issue there. You know what I mean? Because why are some businesses paying Yelp every month money?
Well,
Doesn't that affect which good reviews or bad reviews? You know what I mean? How could that be? Google reviews aren't.
that's pretty cynical.
Well, yeah,
But it's true.
But it's true. I mean, so you have two businesses that run office space, and one has better Yelp reviews, but they pay their members of Yelp and pay them $1,000 a month. Well, explain the $1,000 a month thing.
But you won't know that.
Yeah, I know.
If you're just looking at the surface of it.
Yeah.
That's why I said that the most effective thing for us
Is word of mouth.
Talking to people.
So is-
got to word to people. Got to. When
Press the
people
flash.
come by and see our space, they're wowed by it. They love it. They think it's great. But we have to get people in that door.
And what wows them? Well, wait. Well, I keep getting off target of your. So it's authenticity. You got two more values you got to go to.
Yep.
Ownership.
So we own what we do. If we say we're going to do something, we do it. Likewise, we want to promote our members' ownership of their business. It's their business. We recognize that. We want to support them in that. But we take responsibility for the things that we say we're going to do, and we do it.
And the last is simplicity. I always love that KISS. Keep it simple, stupid.
Right.
And the fact that you started off with the contract's one page.
It's one page. Some of the places I've rented before, I never knew what my bill was going to be. With us, you know what your bill is going to be because we've told you what it's going to be. If you decide that you need to copy 17 volumes of the encyclopedia, if you even have encyclopedias anymore, then you're going to get some charges for extra copies. But we're not going to add on charges for parking, you know, on the surface lot. We're not going to add on charges for coffee. I had to pay for coffee one time. We're not going to add on charges for janitorial or for utilities. Your price is what your price is. You know what it includes. You know what's not included, and it's that. That's as a small business, you have to be able to expect that because you have to be able to budget. And when you don't know what that is, you can't budget.
You're reminding me of that commercial. Did you see that commercial last year? It was that little girl has a lemonade stand, and it says lemonade,
Yes.
10 cents.
Yeah.
And she goes, that'll be $1.12. And he's like, $1.12? It says 10 cents right there. And she goes, standing on my yard fee, sugar fee, whatever, you know.
We don't have those fees.
Yeah.
It's if we said your price those micro offices are $475 a month. Your price is
Those what
$400.
are?
The micro office, the 8-foot high offices.
Yeah.
They're $475 a month. If when you get your bill, it's going to be $475. Period.
So when you're talking about that sweet spot of 120, that average client is paying how much a month?
Depends on whether it's inside or outside.
But you just said a number.
Well, that micro office was $475.
Okay, $475 a month.
The 120 square foot, it could vary, be anywhere from probably $900 to $1,100, depending on where it was.
Yeah. Is there any sweet spot of profession? Are they mostly accountants, bookkeepers, lawyers, mediation people? I mean, I assume you don't have any auto mechanics or massage therapists or dentists in there.
Some office evolutions have massage therapists. Some of them have psychotherapists in their offices.
Why were you looking at me when you said psychotherapist?
Don't take it personally.
So go through a range of occupations.
A lot of them are white collar. They're financial advisors or insurance agents or real estate agents, accountants, attorneys, mortgage brokers. But when I was renting, when I was using Office Evolution, one of my neighbors was a roofing company. they did all of their admin work there. So the lady that came in there every day, she did all of their scheduling, she did all of their bookkeeping and billing. And so it is a wide variety of people. Sometimes it's salespeople that just need a place to office and to do calls and to meet a client here and there, but really just a place to be away from the home. You know, one of the classic things that it went viral last year was a guy that was in Great Britain that was being interviewed about something going on in the world, and he was in his home office and he had a map of the world behind him.
Oh, yeah.
He was on the BBC, and then his little 3-year-old was running into the room.
Right.
And then the toddler, who was maybe a year old or something, came in right after her, and then you see the mom crawling in trying to get them out of the room. Well, at Office Evolution, we don't do that. You know, they don't have to worry about that.
Well, you know, it's so tough because these the largest employer of economists in the world is the Federal Reserve. I think they have like 3,000 PhD economists working for them. I mean, it's huge.
Didn't know that.
And so they're always doing research on like better business practices. And one of the things they notice on is this long leash, because a lot of companies say, again, trust. I don't trust you. If you're not here, you're just home watching ESPN on sports, eating popcorn. So I want you here. So then they leave their home at 7. They're stuck in traffic for an hour. They get there at 8 o'clock. But from 8 to noon, every 10 minutes, someone's coming by and saying, "Hey, Kyle, what'd you do this? Did you watch March Madness? And it's like, wow. And then they go home and you're trying to get work. But like when my 2-year-old little granddaughter walks up to me, I mean, I always stop what I'm doing, pick her up, go do something. I mean, she's 2.
You have to respond, right?
Yeah, and so it's like, gosh, it seems like at home, at work, it's hard to get stuff done because life is what it is.
Right.
And if you're my cubicle buddy next door, I'm not going to piss off Kyle, and I'm not going to piss off my granddaughter at home. So it gets tough.
Well, there's a lot of distractions. There is a lot of more and more people are working remotely. They may work for a large company, but the company's headquarters are in California, but they're here in Phoenix.
Yeah.
And they need some place to do that work because their granddaughter's there, or the dog is barking and they need to be on a conference call. Or they just can't do it at home because it's too close. It's too close to the bed, or it's too close to the refrigerator or the ESPN. And so they need some place to separate the life and work lines of what they're doing.
That just made me wonder. So would delivering food in there, like say you're working there and you wanted a Domino's pizza, would the
Bring it in.
Really, the guy next door wouldn't say, "Hey, you're making me hungry," or
Well, maybe he'll share. It's a win-win. Remember?
Yeah, and I bet it'd also be great networking even within your clients within the center.
That's one of the things we're really looking forward to as we build our customer base there. Is we're going to host all sorts of different things for our members and for the community at large. Lunch and learns. We're going to have networking events for our members both during the day or after work, so that because it is its own little network. You know, you have. Just like joining a chamber or something like that, you're going to have a wide variety of people and businesses there that you could use or access and build that trust, because you're going to see them in the kitchen, you're going to see them in the hallway, you're going to see them at the copier or at the mailboxes. And it's a chance to really get to know people in lots of different industries.
Now, you have 3 franchises locations, right?
We bought 3 locations. This is the very first one. We're
And what
already
are your
looking for the next
locations?
ones. This
So
is the
I'll-
only one that exists right now.
So you started the best.
A flagship is in Ahwatukee.
My gosh. And so where is 2 and 3 going to be?
Well, we're looking right now. It's the Southeast Valley. Our area includes
Southeast, okay.
Our area includes Ahwatukee, the South Phoenix rather, the south part of Scottsdale.
It's pronounced Snotsville.
I may have a business there. Chandler, Gilbert.
So the second location, the Southeast Valley, would be.
We're looking at Chandler, Scottsdale, Tempe, parts of Mesa right now. So we're looking at sites right now already for the next site.
Just Mesa is the 3rd largest city in Arizona.
Yes.
It's Phoenix, Tucson, Mesa.
Yeah.
That town is huge.
It goes forever.
Yeah, I mean, when you're driving down Superstition at 65 miles an hour, what is there, like 8, 10 exits?
It just keeps going.
Yeah, that is amazing.
just keeps going.
So how is your mind looking? So you don't buy real estate, you want to lease?
This is a lease for us. We are open to buying. We're open to buying existing businesses and converting them to an office evolution as well, existing office providers. But primarily it becomes leases just because of the price of real estate. And so we need 6,000 to 10,000 square feet generally is what we're looking at. This site is 6,000 square feet.
I think Amazon and e-commerce is really changing real estate, because I want to tell the little dental kindergartners, I've got a lot of emails from kids at the 2 high schools at Mountain Point and Desert Vista, and there's a lot of people listening to this of all age ranges. But when we were little, you just could never go wrong with real estate. If you ask anybody in the 60s when I grew up, say, well, should you rent your house or own? They're like, dude, you want to own your house. Why would you rent your house for 30 years? Because real estate just goes up, 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 up. But now that so much of what we buy is on e-commerce, I mean, like, I've been at that Safeway Center for 30 years. It's half empty.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a joke that if a UFO flew over Phoenix, and they said, what's the #1 franchise in Phoenix? It'd be Space Available. So I would tell a kid today, I don't know if I'd want to buy commercial real estate until 30% of the malls are expected to be closing.
That's something.
30% of malls are going bankrupt. When we were little, the mall was like, you had like Disneyland here and the mall here.
It was the place to be.
And now
in my little town in Nebraska, when the mall got there, that was a big deal.
Hell yeah!
And so yeah, that was a big thing for us.
What little town in Nebraska did you say it was?
North Platte.
North Platte. Yeah, the mall's huge.
Yeah.
So 2 things I think of that. Either now, if you bought space, it'd be a hell of a lot cheaper than it was 10 years ago. But then, I mean, I don't. So do you think Amazon is a game changer and the price of commercial real estate will continue to go down and down and down, or do you think they're going to reinvent themselves?
I think everything will be reinvented. I think the actual vacancy rate in the Phoenix metro area for commercial real estate is going down. And
the vacancy rate's going down. It's getting tighter?
It's getting tighter and tighter, especially in the office market.
Okay.
Perhaps that's not true in the retail market.
Right. Because my walnut brain, being a consumer, I'm just seeing the retail space.
And we do see a lot of those, and generally they're smaller. We've looked at some retail spaces where we'd have to combine several pads to have one, because we need.
How many square foot is your Ahwatukee location?
It's 6,000.
6,000?
Yeah.
That's a big space.
So, but we want the next one to be bigger. So we want maybe about 10,000 in the next one.
So Ahwatukee was 6,000. Your next one you want to be 10,000. So simple math tells me the third one will be 14,000. Am I thinking
we'll let
too
you
linear?
know how the second one goes.
And there's your buddy.
That's Rebecca. She's my lifeline. She keeps everything working well in the office.
So if someone wants to talk to you about that, should they talk to you or Rebecca?
They can talk to either of us, but Rebecca is running the show there. I'm the owner, and I help her out. But she's.
And how did my Ahwatukee homies contact Rebecca Alden?
That number that I gave you before, 480-436-8144. That gets you to Rebecca, as does the phoenix.az@officeevolution.com email.
Yeah. So is Rebecca having fun?
She's having a great time.
Yeah?
We've had a lot of fun because she's been on board since we were doing construction, and so she was part of helping us lay out different things and doing design and all that kind of stuff. And she's really taken it on. She's great. And she's really taken it on and made it her own space. And we want
no pun intended. She's made it her own space.
And so, yeah, that's a good. But she's the manager there, and we want her to feel like it's hers. And so, and it is. She runs that show there.
So out of a 3.8 million metro, there's 1 million people in Phoenix. It's the largest state capital population. Our state capital is in Phoenix.
Yep.
So of all 50 states, our state capital is in the largest populated city. It's right at about 1 million.
I did not realize that.
But the metro's 3.8.
Yeah.
I get a friend in Queen Creek that takes me 1 hour to drive down to Queen Creek. I got another friend and Surprise, it's an hour that way.
Yep.
So I mean, Phoenix is a 2-hour interstate drive just across the town.
Yep.
You come down here from Denver.
Yes.
You have 3.8 million people in a town so big it takes 2 hours on the interstate to drive across. What made you land in Ahwatukee?
Well, there's several things that we look at when we start looking for sites. One is we want mostly suburban neighborhoods where people have a lot of home offices and small businesses. Ahwatukee fits that bill. In fact, most of the Southeast Valley fits that bill. And so when I was looking at where I thought would be good spaces for Office Evolution, the Southeast Valley made a lot of sense to me. And Ahwatukee specifically because not only do we have a lot of small businesses, we have good access from a lot of different places, from different parts of the metro area. It may take you an hour to get to Surprise, but you can still get to Surprise. It may take you an hour to get to Queen Creek, but you can still get here. As Office Evolution develops, we'll be spreading out across the metro area. When you're a member of Office Evolution over here in Ahwatukee, you can also go use space in Chandler, or in Gilbert, or in Scottsdale, or in Mesa, or when there's other franchisees that go and take the West Valley, you can go over there in Glendale, the one that may be in Glendale someday, and use that space as well. We have people that are on the west side in the West Valley that want to have a presence in the East Valley. So they want to have a business address in the East Valley.
Because you could sit there and say, yeah, here's my business. I'm an accountant, lawyer, whatever, and I have 3 locations.
Right.
Scottsdale, Ahwatukee, Mesa. Wow, I never even thought of that.
So they can have one of their offices here in Ahwatukee. They can go.
Because I would think as a consumer, if you had 3 locations, you might have a little more going on than a guy with 1 location.
Absolutely. And we started off with 3. I hope it'll be a lot more than 3. I hope also that other franchisees will come into the Phoenix area and build on that too, because it only helps our brand, helps Office Evolution, and it helps our members as they are able to move around. Not only can you move to any location in Phoenix, but if you're a member, you can go to the one in Columbus, Ohio too.
We started this show that there's a lot of people listening right now that it's they like their job, they've had it for years, they're in a cubicle, but they have this little fantasy of one day saying, you know what, I want to work for this person.
Right.
And you're just invited. You just said that you wish more franchisees would come to this area.
If you're interested, call me. I'll talk you through it.
What number to call you?
Call that number.
Call
480-436-8144. And
call Rebecca Allen.
Rebecca will get you in touch.
How much money would someone, if he was listening to you right now, she's working at Intel, how much money would she have to have
to
become a franchisee?
I honestly don't know what the current franchisee fee was or is.
No.
It was, for me, it was in the mid-40s for my first franchise. But I don't know what it is now. It's been a couple of years.
That's a good range. I mean, mid-40s, I mean, she might have been thinking 100,000, $1 million. I mean, what's a McDonald's franchise?
I have no idea.
I mean, isn't it like $1.5 million or something?
You have the development costs on top of that then, but just the franchise itself. But I could certainly put you in touch with the right people that would be able to give you that answer.
So what else was I not smart enough to ask you about in this interview? What are you sitting there thinking, I wish you would have talked about this?
One of the really cool things I think about Office Evolution is because they have 42 sites now around the country and soon to be 70 by the end of this year, in the mid-hundreds by the end of next year. There's lots of opportunities for people to use Office Evolution around the country. So if you're a member here, you can use the one in Columbus, Ohio. You can go, if someone is in Denver but they want to come down for a spring training game, they can come to our office in Ahwatukee and work for the morning and then go to the spring training game in the afternoon. My wife used one in Columbus a few weeks ago because she happened to have a business meeting there. We had a guy in our office yesterday from Nashville, because he's a member in the Nashville office. So you have the opportunity to move around and use these spaces, whether you're on vacation or business elsewhere, and really take advantage of those opportunities. I think the thing that I can't emphasize more enough is that we want you to just come and experience our space. Come and check it out. Come and work for half a day, just on us. experience it, see what it looks like and feels like. Because I think once you're there, you're going to really like it.
So do you have? So is that an offer? Is that a coupon? Is that on your website?
It's not on our website, but it's on me.
It's on you. What the? So for what? For the first hour? For
come in for a half day. We'll host you for a half day.
You heard it first on Ahwatukee Uncensored.
Come on,
just come in.
Come in and sit down and drink our coffee.
Now, would it be a full day if you were bald?
If you have the right haircut.
I mean, you and I
like
have
your
the right
haircut.
I like your haircut.
Man.
Now, tell me if this story is true, and I want to tell you my bald story.
Okay.
I graduated from high school in '80, and senior year of high school, I was already almost, at least half bald. By freshman year at Creighton at Omaha, I was full bald, and it was like people were like, "Oh man, that sucks. Are you gonna wear a wig? Are you gonna get hair transplants?" I mean, it was like I had this disability, and it was always looked like as a disability until the Chicago Bulls with gorgeous Michael Jordan played the Phoenix Suns with gorgeous bald Charles Barkley. And for 7 games, the whole country was glued to this series, and our team almost won. And our team would have won, but our forward guard got in trouble or something, and he pulled him out of the last game, and so he went in the final game. And after the country watched those 2 gorgeous bald, the next day, bald was cool. And a lot of people with hair and all that shit and use mousse and blow dryers, they didn't catch it. But as a bald man living through it, I mean, it was like yesterday bad, today good. I mean, within weeks, people with good hair were shaving their head. The comb over stopped. People that were doing all this funky. Do you agree with that story or
I don't
history?
know whether that's what generated it or not. I know that a lot of people like the bald look. My daughter likes just rubbing.
Maybe you were that time during that playoff. Were you in?
I was in Chicago at that time.
So you watched the series?
Yeah.
Do you remember that series?
Yeah, I do. I didn't make the connection. I had hair.
You had hair back then?
I had hair. I didn't shave. I shaved my head voluntarily about 14 years ago.
So that was after the series?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe since you had hair, then you didn't notice it then.
I didn't notice it.
But I mean, I'm telling you, it was so crystal clear to me. Before that series, it was a bad thing.
It's
and
as
after,
good as theory as any.
It's as good as any. You'll say you probably never heard of any other theories.
No.
But yeah, fashion is weird. I was reading one paper where they just track hemlines, and you can almost perfectly plot them out, whether the hemlines on girls' dresses are, the length and.
I saw some article that tracked them along with the economy.
Yeah, it's true. It's absolutely true. But it's funny how, because what the phenomenon is this. If you're a kid in high school, whatever your parents are wearing ain't cool. And whatever your grandparents is wearing is double ain't cool. So they go through all the fashions, and then the ones from before just pop up at the other end. So it's basically a memory thing, you know. And it's saying whatever your dad is wearing ain't cool, your grandpa ain't wearing ain't cool, but what you don't realize what you're wearing is what your great-grandfather was wearing.
Except that I think we're about the same age. I'm a couple years ahead of you. We are clearly cool, right?
In fact, these little kids, it's one thing. You know when you see the jean pockets? You know when you see blue jeans? You know that little small pocket within your back pocket?
Yeah.
You know what that...
I have no idea what that's for. I know that coin one right up here.
Well, see, you said coin.
Yeah.
It wasn't a coin. It wasn't a key. That's where they put their pocket watch. You didn't want your pocket watch to come out and fall on the ground and get dirty. You put that in that little tight pocket, and the pocket watches were only made by one company, and that thing made it fit snug.
Right.
That was the pocket watch.
So it stayed there.
Yeah. Then the next generation thought it was something else. But what I think is funny is we're back to the pocket watch. I don't wear a watch. My watch is on my phone, and where's my phone? In my pocket. But
generally, I look at my phone first to see what time it is.
Oh, and I got one more
on.
trivia for the phone. One more trivia for the phone. Do you know of all the apps on your phone, Ryan? Do you see on the iPhone the clock? Do you see the clock?
Yeah.
But do you realize that's the only app that's moving and showing the time?
I hadn't even paid attention to that. How about
Yeah, you have 2 clocks. So you have the one on the top, digital,
I
but
didn't realize
the clock.
the old-fashioned hand clock is actually
That's actually shows the time. You
not know.
learn two things.
I'm glad I came here today.
Yeah, you might if you win a game of Trivia Pursuit next week, you owe me a bag of popcorn.
Pocket watch.
But hey, you heard it here first, man. If you're working at home, I get it. I mean, like, we have 3 cats. When they jump on your desk, I mean, what are you going to do? You can't yell at your cat. You can't yell at your granddaughter. You can't yell at your spouse. You go to work, and it's hard to get anything done. Yeah. And my God, it's just, I mean, sometimes, how many times have you heard, if I could just have 2 hours of complete isolation,
right,
I could get a whole day. Tim Ferriss, that's another guy you should have endorsed your company. Tim Ferriss wrote the 4-Hour Work Week.
Yes.
He wrote the 4-Hour Chef, that you could have tremendously home-cooked meals 3 times a day in 4 hours a week. And Tim Ferriss, I read that book. It was amazing how much time, I'm halfway getting this done, and the cubicle wants to talk to me. I'm halfway done, then my mom just says, hey, did you see last night the Royals pitched a shutout? And you're halfway done. Oh, it's a mandatory meeting that has nothing to do with me. How many emails are CC'd? Because they just want to tell everybody, it's like, dude, this has nothing to do with me. Well, I didn't want you to be left out. Well, yeah, but if 50 people don't want me to be left out a day on an email, there's another hour.
It really is an opportunity to have a concentrated effort, and whether it's 4 hours or 8 hours or 2 hours, it's a chance to really do your work and do it in a quality way in a professional setting, where your cat doesn't turn off your Wi-Fi off your computer or something process, because that happens to me all the time.
Yeah.
And without the interruptions. I can't work at home because the refrigerator's too close.
Yeah.
And I'm constantly getting up to go get a drink or something to snack on or something. But when I get to the office, I can concentrate because it's my place. It's my office. The picture of my kids are there. If I want to look up and see them, I can. But it's my office, and I can get some work done.
Well, Kyle Timmons of OfficeEvolution.com, thank you so much today for coming
thanks
by.
Thanks so much. Thanks for educating me on pocket watches.
Oh, there you go. All right, buddy. I think you were amazing.